Hello, Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs. Going to take another stab at Hearts of Iron 4 here. Our France campaign um, finished inauspiciously in that the save file bugged out, but we had we had done a lot of what we wanted to do. Somebody suggested trying the Soviets, and that's interesting to me, so I think we will take a stab at it. I've been going over sort of the initial situation here. I've already formed up into some armies and set them on some borders. Have a lot, just a ton, just a huge army. But I mean, it's the Soviet Union, so it's spread all over. And in fact, a lot of these are having supply troubles. Supply here, for example, the army requires 3.95. It supports 6. What's this? Yep, almost out of supply here. Required 7.64. Let's see. Yeah, that I don't totally have this figured out yet. Average and for required 3.95 for these for the army units here. Support 6. Let's see. So they're not actually out of supply, just getting low. Gotcha. Something to be cautious of. One other thing is that while oil is far from a concern, at least for now, we produce 224. We have 0 rubber. And rubber is one of the things I would like to get a hold of. And there's just a ton of it down here in Indochina, and down here in the Netherlands. Like, look at this, 268 rubber. The UK has 848 here, just south of Siam. I'd like to find a way to maybe get into a war with Siam and come down here and see if we can't invade them. We have some ships up here, not a ton, but a few. Our Navy is also really spread out. We don't start with a ton of convoys either, so setting up a naval invasion might be a little tricky. Lots of submarines, a few destroyers, not much in the way of a big fleet, I guess. Our one is up here in Leningrad, and it has a couple of battleships and a bunch of destroyers. But other than that, mostly subs. So that's going to be a concern as well. Obviously, the winter and just the size of the country and trying to manage all this. Did I make these guys? What is this? I don't know that we need a border with Norway. A border, like, just don't need to be on their front right now. Let's bring you down. Nope, that's my motorized division. Let's see. Central Asia, no. Japanese front, no. Take you down to the Turkish front. Turkey is also something that's really interesting to me as far as just sort of early aggression. I'd be really interested in kind of grabbing this. Now, again, it doesn't have any rubber, but still. And we do have some national focuses that lead that way. We have really low national unity. Trotskyite plot gives us minus 20%, which we can sort of remove, but at a cost. And then you have to make some choices after that about what the outcome of that is. Though there's some real benefits down here as well. I think I'm actually going to start with Stalin Construction, just a pure political power boost. And we have this over here as well. Probably leaning down to this extra research slot through positive heroism. Rather than collectivist propaganda. So you'd have 2 extra research slots, but there's sort of, because of their tree, they are mutually exclusive. So you can't get both, because this requires armament effort and collectivist propaganda, and this one requires ultimately positive heroism, and those are mutually exclusive. But we also have some, factory stuff over here to consider. But I think I'm going to start with the Stalin Constitution. And then I might move this way so I can start maybe claiming the strait down here. As well as, I don't know if I'm going to reconcile with Japan. That doesn't seem particularly likely at this point. So we'll do that. We start with 3 research slots. We have kind of an old tank. I would like to make that a priority for our research once we get into some of the military research. But first, as always, I think we'll start with our industry. Increase our construction speed flat out. I think we will reduce our research time. And yeah, I guess we might as well just go with our production efficiency cap. We have some free civilian factories, 24 of 42, so 50% of our factories are going to in use for consumer goods. And we ought to set up our trade first too, because we're going to just need to get some rubber. Might as well trade with the Dutch. That's fine. That'll take another. Do we have anything else that we need? That will take another civilian factory. Yeah. So we definitely need more civilian factories. We also ought to think about putting some infrastructure out here. I don't know what the time frame for that would be, but we'll definitely be looking toward that end. We'll build some here in Kursk. And maybe in Ryazan. Let's see, we would like to get up to 30 at least. That's 24 and 6. So that's a little over 30. And I think we will consider putting some infrastructure. Maybe not right away. Maybe not right away. And obviously at some point, it'd be nice to get some synthetic refineries. So we'll need to make that research a priority as well, because that will help us with our rubber situation. Crimea. All right. So we've queued up 15 more civilian factories. We have 2 lines running, one of them very, very slowly. Let's get our military factories. We need a little bit of everything. I'm fine-ish with this. I'm not going to push light tanks until I get that upgrade. Fighters, we're only making 1 fighter, 2 a month, which is not enough. But these are old fighters, right? What is our fighter technology? Our technology just feels really behind. 1936. So what is this? This is the Polikarpov I-16. I mean, it's okay, I guess. We have a naval bomber, which I like. We ought to get some air support as well, which I'm finding more and more useful, the air support. So let's focus on fighters here. How many? We got plenty. We've got 18 to use. So why don't we create a full line here? Strategic bombers I'm not that worried about right away. I guess we'll bump up infantry equipment. Might as well. That leaves us 10 more. Support equipment is fine for now. Well, we're making 5 artillery a week. Don't need a lot there. Do we want to add a line of... No, we don't. Don't want to add a line of motorized. What are our divisions set up like? Do we have any of these that use motorized? Just this one, obviously. Does our tank division does use motorized? So we have several tank divisions already. So we probably do need a line of motorized. And we do. We have that. So let's bump that up to here. We'll go ahead and plow through some tanks. And I'll add more fighters and maybe one more to artillery. Can't have enough artillery. I mean, you can. Dockyards. I shouldn't have closed that. Let's see. We're making a destroyer, submarines, 11 submarines, 10 submarines here. Why do we have 2 different lines of submarines going? Three different lines of submarines. All the same. So kill that. Yeah. Kill that. Let's focus it all right in there. And where do we want our submarines? So, subs. Japan has a significant navy, so that's probably our biggest concern. If we come to blows with Germany, I'm not that worried about their navy. And we had Why don't we put the destroyers up here in Leningrad? And we will put these submarines over here in Vladivostok. Okay. No divisions in basic training. I mean, might as well be putting some in. I'd like to get some. I'd like to beef up this mechanized. So let's make some divisions of train. We'll have them pop out in Moscow. We'll try and do 3 lines of them. And we might as well just throw men at the, I don't know, borders? I don't know. Just throw men at it. It's fine. So I think we'll do that. Primarily here in the West. Why don't you pop out in, I don't know. Yeah, Ryazan. We'll add 4 units there. And I do want to also put some over here. We ought to think about some Alpine out here, actually. What do they have? They're all Alpine. So we'll train a line or 2 of Alpine out here so that we can make some progress into, I mean, ultimately the Himalayas. And we will have them show up out here as, well, no, probably more towards Central Asia. Here. We'll do 2 lines of that. Good. Insufficient resources we have already taken advantage of. We'll ramp up the speed and, I guess, get underway. All right. Things I want. I want Poland. I want Turkey. I want Siam. I want Japan. Actually, I want all of this. All of that. We do have some of these guys, Mongolia and Tanutuva, in the Comintern. So essentially in our faction. That is basically it. We are making 1 political power per day. We'll improve that, I assume, once we get the Stalin Constitution, as well as just getting a big chunk. We have a decent-sized Air Force. Mostly over here in the West, though. Okay, so... and we only have 41 convoys. That was something else I wanted to make, wasn't it? I wanted to make convoys. Yeah, I do want more convoys. Particularly since I'm going to do some naval. How many is that going to make a week? Or 1 a month? Ugh. 2 a year. Gross. Not much for having a navy right off the bat. These guys, we'll bundle them up. And we'll just bring them down here to Leningrad. No, or are we going to need them to, at some point, keep an eye on the Barents Sea? Possibly. Doesn't do any harm just leaving them there. Exercising. Do we want to go ahead and start getting some... Let's see. Yeah. Most of our troops are young and inexperienced. So, Japanese front is likely to see some action. Central Asia, maybe, but I'm not that worried about these countries having much of an army to put up against us. The Western Front, yeah, let's exercise them. That will definitely use some of our equipment. Oof. Yeah, that got big fast. Let's see. We need more rubber. Okay, we will bump that up. Now we just need 1, and we're importing 16 from the Netherlands. We're exporting. We have a total of 43 civilian factories. 24 are used to produce consumer goods, leaving us with 19 available for trade. We're using 2 of them for rubber. We're only getting 1 from exports, so that's just going to be flat out slow going. I think we want these guys in a different theater over here. So which army is that? And where's the Central Army? We're going to put them in... call this the East Asian Theater. Good. Okay. So we have a total of 138 divisions in our army, which is a lot, but it's a lot of land to try and cover too. We're coming out of the winter and into the spring. So maybe we'll just bump this up to speed 4 for now. Because I don't think there's going to be a ton that we can really do until we start just picking up factories and getting things up to speed. Do we want to exercise these guys too? Sure, why not? I like the experience gain, if nothing else. So, are we using more than we have? 1,300. It's kind of fluctuating. Not sure what that's doing. Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. They will be a target as well. Oh, that's one thing we should be doing. We should be going ahead and setting up. I think it's the Afghans. And this is British Raj. What is the Afghan? They have some tungsten. These guys have some chromium and aluminum. What's the easiest way to get down this through this way? Maybe kind of attack China? I don't know. Be nice to have these ports here. I'm not going to go up against Japan right away. Mongolia and Tanatuva are our allies, so maybe we'll justify a war goal. Oh, you need political power. So I don't have enough political power. How much? Need 26 more. I don't need to claim all of them. Will cost you 50 political power. Sure. Okay. Well, that's going to make them nervous. But that's okay. For me. I mean, probably not so much for them. So, yeah, we are way short on equipment. That's where all the equipment troubles are coming from. So let's... Joseph Stalin angered by sinking posturing. It's fine. Why don't we cut some of this? Need the motorized, need the fighters. And just bump up infantry equipment. Get as much of it out as we can. It's going to be hard to just produce enough infantry equipment for the size army we're dealing with here. So here's our mechanized. We may pull them down here. Why not give them some experience? Let's see. How's our supply down here? 5 and supports 34, so we should be able to pull them right down here. Good, good, good. Italy's at war with Ethiopia. Ethiopia is making a... What? Am I crazy, or is Ethiopia making a little bit of a push there? Remilitarization of the Rhineland. Okay, fine. And Stalin Constitution is complete, which gave us a ton of political power, increased our political power to 2 per day. So let's use our political power and go ahead and start getting some political advisors to help us. And I think first I want Captain of Industry, Nikolai Voznesensky. Nikolai Voznesensky. Civilian factory construction speed. I want it. Do I go right toward getting more political power, or do I start my way down to trying to claim the straits? Now that we have 2 per day, let's see, ocean-going navy, research bonus for air doctrine, infrastructure. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we are getting underway here with the Soviet Union. Kind of a short, just kick it off episode. But yeah, we'll be back with more. Maybe we'll push into Xinjiang here and go from there. And hopefully our save doesn't get corrupted this time. Anyway, as always, my name is Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs. Thank you for joining me for Hearts of Iron 4. We will see you real soon.